Ladies and gentlemen, as of today, it is June 26, 2015. This marks the day that gay marriage has been approved by the Supreme Court as of a 5-4 ruling. Now, there are a few misconceptions with this, but I'll go ahead and get down to what this really makes legal and why it's such a big deal. So, what this legalizes is for anyone to marry anyone. It basically gives them their right, which is now a constitutional right. It's ruled as a constitutional right, which basically rules over a lot of things in our society, especially recently as it's come to marriage. But now it's legally their right nationally. So every state, you can basically marry anyone. However, that's only for marriage. The thing that a bit of a big deal right now is, because here's the thing: people get excited about this, and then they hear, "Oh, so this just gets rid of all like the LGBT problems and everything." But no, I gotta say, there's still a very long way to go because we still have the kids to worry about. Here's the problem with that. If you marry in a state that is now legal because of this ruling, you might not be seen, or you might not be observed as the parent of that child yet, because in a state that's a state that was priorly illegal before this ruling, that state still has the right to deny observation of you being a parent of a child if you are in a gay marriage. And that's still a big problem, and that's still another thing that I think needs to be nationally observed, just because any straight couple can have kids and then, they're automatically observed. So the only thing this really changes is that anyone can marry anyone nationally. And I say only, but that is a huge deal, and that is amazing, and I'm very, very, proud of the U.S. in a way. I mean, I know it comes down to the 9 heads of the Supreme Court in the end, and it was a 5-4 ruling. I mean, one more person ruling against that, and we would have been in a bad situation for probably a few more years. But this is a very, very good day for America, and I gotta say, after this ruling and like everything that's going on, I feel a little more proud to be an American, because before this, I honestly didn't really know. I felt that rights were being taken away from people, good friends of mine, and I imagine, because I live in California, but like if I imagine like those people living in other states, which a lot of people with unbinary sexuality do. It's just like, that's terrible. They deserve the right as much as anyone else. But anyway, so great day for America and all that, but we still have a very long way to go. Just as especially in the transgender world, a lot of that hasn't even been like. A lot of rust hasn't even been knocked off that yet, and a lot of people don't even know about any of that kind of stuff, except for Bruce Jenner, and that's really a problem, because at some point that is going to become a little bit more of an issue. And I guess the thing is, society likes to accept one thing at a time, especially in first world countries. They're just like, okay, let's accept this thing and then this thing. So I guess it was starting from the African Americans and other races that were discriminated against back in early 40s and 60s. I mean, all the way back to slavery, of course. And then we accepted them into society. And then now it's like being the whole gay and transgender thing. We're accepting that in society. But if you notice the patterns of history, it's always one thing at a time. Oh, another group that might have been discriminated against is immigrants back in the 1800s. Even now, with the immigrants nowadays from countries like Mexico and Central American countries, we're all accepting them so slowly, and that's a problem. I think this day should be a symbol of the rate we need to accept things. I mean, why do one at a time when we can just... Because the thing about accepting things in the culture is that Um, I don't, the thing about accepting things in a culture is that eventually it will get accepted. Eventually, like I saw a gay marriage as a landslide. Eventually, it's going to happen. Eventually, it's going to be a national thing. Why wait? What's the point of waiting when eventually it's going to happen? So, like, when it comes to the immigrants now being accepted into our society or anyone else who is discriminated, why wait? Like, eventually it's going to happen. So, I'm glad this is happening, but like today, but we have so much more to do, obviously. Um, but I guess let's just take today to rejoice in the fact that we have a freer, more equal America. And hopefully, at the end of the day, we'll stop looking at things on an American level and we'll have a freer and more equal planet Earth. Because that is one thing that drives us away from each other so much as well. It's that we always see ourselves as a country, but we never see ourselves as a planet.